So our design team in our planning came up with the idea of the next part for B for our belief series to be talking about the heart, because we're talking about the fruit of the Spirit, the 9 different aspects that are all part of the fruit of the Spirit, and it's a reflection of our heart. And if you'll notice this heart behind me, you'll notice there's a big crack down the middle. There's some defects. It's not perfect. There's some flaws, and it's a really good representation, I think, of where our heart is. Our sign out front says, "Come as you are, no perfect people allowed." There's a passage in Matthew that says we want to pursue perfection. And the key word there is not perfection. The key word there is pursuit. So how do we pursue that? How do we have a heart that becomes more like Jesus? What do we need to do? If you're me, if you're like me, you struggle with a lot of those aspects. I struggle with maintaining the fruit of the Spirit being joy. I sometimes struggle with peace. I sometimes struggle with patience. I struggle with righteousness. And if I'm honest, I sometimes struggle with love. But if I'm pursuing Jesus with all that I am and all that I have, his promise is that is in me. It just needs to grow out of me. And my prayer for us this week as we begin this next part of the series is that we'll all take a step back and evaluate where our heart is. Where in our heart do we see the cracks? Do we see the imperfections? Where in our heart do we see the need for growing to become more like Jesus? I hope you'll join me on the journey as I'm striving to be more like him, and I'm struggling to be more like him every day. But my pursuit is and will always be for him and to be more like him. So where do you need to focus your energies this next 10 weeks? Where do you need to focus your attention on growing to become more like Jesus? And will other people see it? I love Mike's question, Pastor Mike's question on Sunday when he said, do you believe what you believe? And then he followed it up with, are you living like you believe what you believe? I hope so. I'm trying. Some days I get it, some days I don't. But by God's grace, I get to come back and give it another shot. And I hope that you'll do that as well. God bless. Have a great week.